Alrighty everyone, welcome back. As we get closer to the very end of March, there's been a lot of drama happening with many different projects related to multiple divisions over at the Walt Disney Company, one of which being Marvel Studios. Focusing on Deadpool 3 here, we know, and also Bob Iger knows, that they are 110% banking on this movie from at least making a decent profit at the box office and throughout all movie theaters around the globe, to at least point the finger at 2024 and say that they had a hit for the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that is also another thing that I always like to bring up, that this is going to be the only movie releasing for the MCU under Walt Disney overall. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, one thing that has been going on with Deadpool 3 has a lot of drama stirring up behind the scenes around Ryan Reynolds, Shawn Levy, the director, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, the writers of the film, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's been a lot of things happening with Joy Behar of The View. We've been talking about this for a little over a week now, and what's been going on with that ever since Ryan Reynolds dropped out of the interviews as originally planned from June until July to essentially promote Deadpool 3. Disney believed that this would increase the ratings for The View for a multi-episode marketing campaign of Deadpool 3 on that show to do one-on-one interviews with different actors. Now, on top of all of this, this is where things get really interesting when it comes down to Hugh Jackman and how it really crosses a path with the whole Joy Behar situation. Now, specifically, of course, with the Deadpool 3 drama still happening behind the scenes that involves the looming reshoots scheduled for this April lasting until May, one major development has much to do with Joy Behar and Hugh Jackman as the situation only gets worse since Ryan Reynolds took a stand against the show The View on ABC. A crucial update to the situation involves how there is a serious grudge happening between Behar and actor Hugh Jackman after it was recently just finalized altogether that Jackman will also no longer be appearing on The View to promote Deadpool 3 in costume and in character at times. That was going to lead to $10 million for her payout for Joy Behar. It turns out it was both Ryan Reynolds and director Shawn Levy that convinced Jackman to stand down from actually appearing on The View, since Behar was going to discuss the importance of DEI, which would have ultimately led to Jackman losing his reputation to some fans, as warned by both Reynolds and Levy. Already Behar is taking it up with the Disney heads and is reportedly furious over Jackman's final decision to, of course, not appear on The View to do multiple one-on-one interviews, much like what was planned with Ryan Reynolds. The plan was to have both actors on in multiple episodes for The View from the last week of June until throughout all of July. However, just recently Jackman even took things up with Bob Iger that if he were to be forced to appear on the show with Behar, he would be stepping down from other Marvel Universe projects planned and mapped out for Phase 7. Now, in addition to that, Jackman is also reportedly taking, of course, part with plans with Joy Behar and taking out of those plans. Now, what's interesting about this, let me just point this out real quick, is the fact that he's stepping out of those plans with Joy Behar and dropping out of The View completely, having nothing to do with them at all, ever again, mind you, I think is a great move, just as much as it was of a great move for Ryan Reynolds to use some common sense and to realize, what was going to be presented on that show. The only thing that Behar and Bob Iger seemingly cared about was by promoting their overall view of DEI and the importance of it all in the Marvel Universe. DEI, by the way, is diversity, equity, and inclusion, for those of you that do not know, and they really wanted to press on that importance in those various interviews. Now, on top of that, the plans for this scene, of course, was going to essentially have both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman staying in character many times on those episodes, playing things out to be Wolverine and Deadpool, answering questions. However, on top of this is what makes matters even more hilarious when it comes to Jackman's stand against The View and Joy Behar. A parody scene that was created and written already by both Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, where of course both Deadpool and Wolverine would mock the show The View and Behar. The plans for this scene were already in the early works well before the Behar drama actually started. However, now it's moving forward, though both Bob Iger and Kevin Feige are challenging it. In addition to all of this, Joy Behar also reportedly had heated arguments with Jackman's agent and manager over his final decision to not appear on The View, and is also giving the Disney heads a series of warnings that if something is not arranged for those episodes, she is willing to take some form of legal action, since now Disney is refusing to pay her the promised $10 million payout. Already Behar is demanding other cast members that may be lesser known ones to appear on the show to do interviews. Behar took it up already with Jackman and his team, to no avail, with no resolution for her sake, proving that both Ryan and Hugh care about the fans, and this project and how it is to be promoted on live television and social media. Already a second trailer is ready to go that completely promotes Jackman's return as Wolverine altogether. Hugh's decision to also drop out from The View was described as unpredictable, that Disney and Behar didn't see coming, which is why she is said to be acting in such a furious way behind the scenes, demanding for Jackman to go back on the show as originally planned, in order to boost ratings and for her payout to be complete by the Walt Disney Company and from Bob Iger high above. Now again, guys, this is going to be an interesting series of events. The fact that we have Ryan, Sean, Rhett, and Paul really attempting to create this parody of Joy Behar and The View in about a minute, maybe a little above 1 minute for a scene. We talked about this a couple of days ago about how they're going to be poking fun basically at The View and Joy Behar. And there's also going to be jokes about Kevin Feige in this thing that he's not too fond about. It's going to be interesting to see how these jokes fly and whether or not they make the final cut under Bob Iger's supervision. Now, Jackman is still planned to make Behar jokes for the Deadpool 3 reshoots that Bob and Kevin are attempting to prevent from happening. However, Ryan, Sean, Rhett, and Paul are taking a stand and giving ultimatums against that. This is why I really love this team that's behind Deadpool 3, the creative team, is that they are taking nothing. I mean, they are standing their ground. They are like a brick wall in front of Disney, and they cannot be bulldozed over. This is basically what's happening, alright? So we have Bob Iger and Kevin that are not too fond of some scenes that they're trying to push for reshoots. Basically, Ryan is taking advantage of the reshoots to prevent DEI from getting spilled into the third act, something that Bob Iger is pressing on and forcing onto the cast and the crew to make that possible. Ryan, Sean, Rhett, and Paul do not want that to happen. They want to use these reshoots to kind of use it to their own advantage to insert even more hilarious scenes, more action-packed moments, and more cameos that would be very much unexpected to the audience. So again, guys, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this ongoing scenario, the whole Behar drama, everything happening with Hugh Jackman, and rightfully so. I'm glad that he stepped out of that. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.